So get this, guys. So for holy crap. Okay, so we're gonna read out these statistics here after this. I'll finish this video, then I got some statistics to play since someone brought it up about how many Harper did. We're gonna look at the record of Canadian prime ministers and how many senators they've appointed in a second. We're gonna bring, since this got brought up here, I just gotta watch my feed here. Okay, so since this was, someone was talking about how many Harper appointed. So Harper appointed 59 senators. Trudeau's appointed 90, okay, so far. 90. So let's just take that into consideration for a second. So not only, sure, Harper appointed quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. 59. Okay. Then before that, Martin at 17. Look at Crunchien, another Liberal, 75. Mulrooney, 57. So who's got the Pierre Edward Trudeau with 81. So second highest is Trudeau's daddy there. And then, Trudeau's father. And then we have King here, who was served 3 terms. 10. Oh no, is this one? He's broken up. His service is broken up and stuff. Yeah, 103 Liberal. So it looks like some Liberals have a track. Oh, Laurier, 81, going back over 100 years. Going back to the history of Canada, I guess. Well, McDonald appointed 91. What else are you really going to do with that? Didn't really have any at that point, did they? So this is insane. So 90. So you can say what you want about Harper for sure, but don't get me wrong, it's something they're all trying to do. It's a game they're all playing. However, Trudeau really knocked out of the park, and his dad did 81. He's at 90. So to me, it's it's a little crazy. Sure, you can say that he's Harper did it too, but I don't know, 59 to 90. I'll take the 59 over 90 any day.
Let me tell you what Justin Trudeau is doing. This is a mind-boggling move. So please do that. Okay, so this morning we just found out that Justin Trudeau, even though he's a lame duck prime minister, even though he's shuttered parliament, even though the Liberals are going to choose a backroom elitist, most likely as their next leader, he is doing the craziest thing. He's about to fill 10 Senate vacancies with Parliament being shuttered. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with the Canadian parliamentary structure, there's the House of Commons, which is made up of elected representatives like me, and then there's the Senate. And the Senate is appointed. They're not elected. They're appointed by the Prime Minister. And for legislation to pass in Canada, it has to be passed by both chambers. It has to be passed by the House of Commons and by the Senate. Now, there's 10 vacancies in the Senate. And tradition, morality, everything, Justin Trudeau should not be appointing those people. They should be, because Parliament's been prorogued, because he's a lame duck Prime Minister, those appointments should happen after the next federal election. But he is getting in there and he's trying to silently stack the Senate with who? Liberal cronies, far left Liberal cronies, people that he can reward, Liberal insiders, which he's been doing. But now, because he wants to make sure that no matter what happens in the next federal election, that those type of lefty Liberal appointees can stop any future government from doing things if they want to. That is his motivation. That's his agenda right now. It is absolutely crazy, and it's so sneaky. This is happening while there's so many other things going on in the country and while Parliament is prorogued. So we can't even question him about this. We can't even bring any.
And that's what I mean. Is she saying the sky is falling? Like, you know what I mean? Is this a sky is it sounds like she's being pretty this is what I want to find out today is is she being over dramatic? And from what we saw of the record, it looks like it's not that crazy. It is crazy how many he's able to appoint, but he's also someone who served almost 3 consecutive terms, right? So I think that's something to keep note of. How's the family, Justus? Oh, they're good. Still getting over it. Everyone was just sick yesterday. It was a little crazy. And then, just a bunch of crap hit the fan yesterday in a house full of sick people coughing and stuff. So I didn't think it'd be great to stream yesterday. They got too much to say in government. It's just very spiteful on this part. It makes the whole Liberal government look even more corrupt than it is. The Great Dominion, the Senate is already stacked in Liberals' favor. 10 more aren't going to make a huge difference. Okay, well, I'm just curious how young these people are, and you know what I mean? Like when do they leave Senate, right? Is that just by choice, by retiring? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand here as well. Do they have to leave voluntarily? Most in there now are liberal. Yeah, so if he's going to appoint 10 more, he's already appointed 90. It looks like, yeah, there's going to be 100 at that point. And there's only one other prime minister to appoint as many previously, but he also served broken up terms. So that could have just been luck of the draw, like I said. It's a dog whistle. I disagree. If they mess with this mandate, there will be trouble countrywide. Hey, Denny, welcome back, buddy. Yeah, it's the thing to which PM did this during a proroguing of Parliament, and the Libs have done too much shadowy crap. It's hard to let the people get away with it. But that's what I mean, right? It just seems like they're like they're just further like on the way out the door, just like breaking everything. Oh, I'm gonna get something done, Pierre. So try this, Pierre. Try that, Pierre. Like, try and get through the Senate, Pierre. They leave at 75, or if they want to. That's what I'm saying. Is like that's what I thought it was. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So how long are all these people going to be sitting on there for? Right? Like, how old are they? I think that's what we need to figure out. Senate of Canada.
Sort of attention to this. The only way I can bring attention to this sneaky, shadowy, deceptive move is by coming to you like this. But again, I'm subject to, like, everybody's subject.
All right. Okay. So we're going to look at this. So see how long are a lot of these liberals going to be sitting on here for. So good there. Okay. What we got here? So basically, let's look at everyone's retirement ages and their colors or party affiliations appointed on the advice of Trudeau. So let's just zoom out here. So we got quite a few appointed by Trudeau. How many of which are going to be retiring within Pierre's term? Or Pierre's first term, I'm curious. So it looks like a lot of them 2027, 2042, 2026. Okay, so 2026 and 2027. Oh, it's a Harper appointed one. 2026, so that will be one he'll be able to replace. 2, maybe, yeah, 3 if he makes his full term, which he should. I don't see why he wouldn't. 4, 5, 6, yeah, 2029. Yeah, I guess that'd be after his first term, right after his first term. 7, 8. Oh, whoops, one sec, guys. Here, sorry. All right. So we're like, what, 9 or 10? So there's going to be like maybe a dozen or so. So a dozen, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so he's gonna be able to place like, oh, that's Harper appointed one. Like I said, like some of these are Harper appointed two. I wasn't keeping track of that. So it's like 16, 17, like probably just under 20. So let's be generous. A couple dozen he can replace. Some of which are Harper appointed as well. So the idea that like he's not going to be able to like, it's going to be a while. It seems like late 2030s before most of these appointed senators tire. Yeah, those would be all in his first term. Sorry, guys. That would be all in Pierre's first term. There would be about a couple dozen that are going to retire, mixture of Harper and Trudeau appointed senators. So I think quite a few of those are Harper appointed, because you have like ones that are appointed like 2011, right? Like this guy here. You got Quebec senator appointed by Harper. He's retiring next year, right? So he's not going to be able to take the Senate back. You know what I mean? I just think that they should move forward on trying to get this into like an because isn't there a way we could somehow establish like an election process for these members and like maybe term limits or just terms in general? Like, hey, you serve, like when we have our regular election, we also are like, we stagger a Senate election of some sort. He also has the most Senate appointed per year at any PM in history. Just so you know, all the time, he is second to William Lyon Mackenzie King, who appointed 103 in 21-year term. Yeah, but that was like his term was broken up too, right? Like he served 2 terms and then he served 1 term later on with King, if I'm correct. Justin did this in 9 years. Yeah. We actually pulled up. I don't know if you're tuned in, Czar, but we actually pulled up the whole record of which prime ministers have appointed how many senators, and Trudeau takes the cake for sure. But he's also served 3 consecutive terms, which is not typical. So we have to keep that in mind. But at the same time, it's also timing. Like, was he just lucky to be able to fill that many spots? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how did he get that many retiring? Like, he must have really just got lucky because of the age of the ones that were appointed by Conservatives early on. Or I guess some who retired might have even been appointed by Crunchian formerly. So it seems like it's just crazy. Like, they serve like over 20 years on average, it seems like. So it's just wild. Don't senators stay until they're 78? Yeah, I think it's 75. So that was we were looking at their mandatory retirement ages there on that Wikipedia page. Sorry. So it's just like there's going to be a couple dozens, just like I think around 20 that they're going to be able to replace. I think it's like I might be butchering this, but like 18 or 17 were formerly Liberal appointed ones that could be replaced by Pierre in his first term. However, most aren't until like 2028, 2029. So it's going to be a battle for sure. I think this is a good reason to restructure things. And I don't know, like, how would you guys feel about having elected senators? I don't think anyone who's a favor of democracy would be opposed to that. You know what I mean? Like, why would you be opposed to electing these people in? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems wild we haven't been up to this point.
To Bill C-18, Bill C-11, these censorship bills. So guys, like, I have to ask you to click subscribe. It is free. I need to be able to directly communicate with you. The link to week video updates, going through all of these types of stories so that you understand what's happening.
We've seen her pitch a few times.
Have huge implications.
Go to her Substack, guys. That's the gist of it. Links in the description.
For future governments. That's really telling about this is that none of the Liberal leadership candidates, the 2 front runners, Chrystia Freeland or Mark Carney is considered the continuity candidate. He is basically Justin Trudeau 2.0. The entire team, the entire Trudeau cabinet is kind of rallying around him. They're not opposing this. And it's really strange, right? Because you'd think that the next person to be prime minister would want to have the ability to even consider doing these types of appointments. But no, Justin Trudeau is doing this right now because he wants to make sure his friends, his far left liberal ideologues are stacked with government appointments so that they can push their agenda long into the future. And there's something that you need to know about these appointments, okay? They're for life until age 75. There's nothing that can be done about them. There's really nothing to do after somebody's been appointed by a prime minister into these roles. He is right now, as a lame duck prime minister with Parliament prorogued, he's about to.
So we'll just go over this quickly before we go forward, because like we're trying to determine, is Michelle saying the sky is falling? Is she justified in this? Is this a real reason to be concerned? That's what we're trying to go over and dive into here. So this is from learn.parle.ca, the role of the Senate. So I'm just going to read this out for those who might not understand. I myself am learning a lot about the Senate recently as well. It's something I always kind of glanced over until recently in the last like year. So it's something we should be paying attention to, just because they, from what I understand, they do play a pretty big role in our government. The role of the Senate. The Senate is an important part of the legislative lawmaking branch of Canada's government. Senators are appointed from each province and territory to represent Canada's diverse regions. Oh, that's great. The Senate. Canada's parliamentary system is bicameral, meaning it has 2 chambers. Bicameral, I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Meaning it has 2 chambers, the Senate of the House of Commons, the Senate and the House of Commons. Bills must be considered and adopted by both chambers in identical form before they are given final approval, called royal assent, by the Governor General or a representative. So that's what I mean. Like, it seems like they have equal pull to the House. Like, that's what's wild to me. It's like, if you have, in terms of passing these bills, it's like a whole extra layer that needs to. It's like the fact that these people are not elected in is just messed up. Like, how is that democratic? Like, how is it democratic to not have these people elected and have them just appointed? Like, even the ones that Harper appointed, it's like, I think that wasn't like the whole idea. It just seems like just undemocratic in my opinion. Senators introduce and debate bills. Once a bill is adopted by the Senate, it is sent to the House of Commons for review. Okay. The Senate also reviews bills it has received from the House of Commons. Senators look at the details of the bill, participate in debates, and can propose amendments. The Senate can approve a bill without any changes, suggest amendments, or reject a bill entirely. So it's essentially like a whole layer of the government that needs to approve all moving legislation. Investigating issues. In committees, senators hear evidence from witnesses and review bills section by section. In addition to studying legislation, Senate committees study issues of public concern, such as mental health, aging, mass media. What? Mass media and gender equality. This is Canadian government website, guys. This is the Canadian government web. This is learn.parle.ca. All right. Senators have specialized knowledge and experience in many fields, which helps them with their investigations. They also hear from stakeholders, experts, government officials, and other interested parties. These investigations produce reports with observations and recommendations that can lead to changes in federal laws or policies. So pretty big role. You know what I mean? Like don't worry, guys. They are representing the interests of minority groups. Senators consider how potential laws may affect different groups of people in Canada. They also bring attention to people whose rights and interests may be overlooked because of their, basically every protected topic. So right here, pretty much everything that summarizes every person who's not a straight white male. But anyways, besides the point, we'll go back to Michelle Rumpel's video here.
To put 10 far left liberal crony activists into the Senate in order to ensure that his radical agenda, his disastrous agenda, is pushed forward long into the future. It's what should happen right now is that those vacancies should not be filled until after a general election. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper did the right and honorable thing and didn't push Senate vacancies before he lost office in 2015. But these guys have no similar honor or compunction.
Well,
the worst part of this is that they are doing this while Parliament is suspended, in the middle of a Liberal leadership, and under censorship bills that they put in place, because they don't want you to know about this, right? They don't want you to understand that they're rewarding their cronies and putting in place ideologues in order that if there is a general election and if there is, God willing, a change in government, that the Senate, these people would be there to push a radical leftist agenda no matter what happened. These unelected people that would be appointed by radical lame duck leftist Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So folks, like, this is for all the marbles. Like, this is the stuff that is happening right now as, you're at work or you're trying to make ends meet. You're struggling with affordability because of these radical lefty policies, these inflationary policies, these policies that have, decriminalized hard drugs, created the opioid crisis, insecure crime. They're like literally ramming through appointments to ensure that their radical leftist agenda is pushed forward no matter what happens in a general election. And they're doing this with hoping you will not find out, hoping that you won't notice. So I need you, the number one way that Canadians can help.
Yeah, I think everybody found out, Michelle. I think everybody's pretty on top of it now. CBC reported on it, guys. CBC was like the only news station to report on it first. So say what you want about them. They're reporting on this of Trudeau cramming these through during a prorogation. Like, it's just wild. And like to me, I think that having the Senate is not a bad idea, but at the same time, like, it could bring a counterbalance if you have a staggered electoral process in order to put people in that place in the Senate. The way it is now, though, is just anti-democratic, in my opinion. The way it is of having these just appointed on the way out the door. I'm going to appoint these people for life. Like, that's just messed up. Like, what? like, here's a permanent job, buddy. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, just wild. So like it's not, the problem isn't the Senate, it's the way we're managing the Senate, right? It's the way that these people are serving until retirement age, from like probably age like 50, and some people are retiring in 2040s. So like they're like 50 now. You know what I mean? Like they're like in their 50s and they're going to be there till they're 75, and they're liberals. Doesn't matter who's in power. So I think that's messed up. I think that's what's weird and messed up. But if you had like a staggered electoral process, so there was some liberals in there during the conservative government, because if you're going to have a sweeping majority, like I don't care how nice Pierre is, I don't want him to. I don't want to hand him the keys to the whole country. You know what I mean? I don't care how nice his hair is, or how nice he talks about it, or how big his arms are. And that's another comment, inside joke there. But it's, you know, I don't want him to have total control of the country. Like that's how I see it. So having a Senate, I don't think is a problem, but having it the way it is right now is a problem, in my opinion. Having it so you can have these people serve for 20 plus years, just appointed by Trudeau on his way out, like in his last, like literally like 1 foot out the door, just like slamming crap off the shelves. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what he's doing right now. So it's just wild. That's how I look at it. You know, you can argue with me if you think I'm wrong, or if you have a different opinion, let me know. But welcome back, everybody, to the stream. But I don't know if I said that, but welcome back, Grind family, and everybody else. Trevor, Kane, welcome back, everybody. Rhonda, I don't think I can read all your names. There's too many now. But but that's what I mean, is I don't care if you're Trump. I don't care if you're Polyev. I don't want you to have total control of the country. I just think that's anti-democratic. So I think we need to really focus, like, doesn't matter who they are. We need to respect, you know, the institution and the process of democracy so that we can maintain it. Otherwise, we lose it.
Right now is getting the word out. Share this video, let people understand what's happening. And